Hey, what's up, guys? Um, I had a very unexpected emotional day at work today, and I want to share it with you guys. I got to work and I got on the elevator, and it stopped on the third floor, and a pregnant woman got on. And I looked at her. I said, well, "Like you about to pop?" And she's like, "Ugh, I'm so ready." And then she jumped, like, "Ooh!" And I said, "You did that like you don't know you got a baby inside of you." And she said, "Me and my husband just went to the doctor's yesterday for an emergency visit." She said, "Because I haven't felt the baby move in about 4 or 5 days." And she said, "When you start talking to me, the baby started jumping, like to the point you can see the baby kicking. Like she had a tight shirt on, so you can literally see, the little prints coming up." And I said, "Well, thank God." I said, "That's a good thing." And, I always crack jokes. So I said, "Yeah, I have that effect on people." And she looked at me. She's like, "No, like seriously, my baby is kicking crazy right now. Ever since I started talking to you." I said, "Well, we gonna pray that it continues to kick." And then I got to my stop. I got off, went about my day, and about 45 minutes later, I seen the lady, and I looked at her because my job is big, so I don't know everybody, and I didn't know her, and I just waved to her because I had that interaction with her, but she was coming to me, and she came to me, and I said, "What, the baby missed me?" And she said, "When you got off the elevator, my baby stopped kicking." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yes." And she said, "Now that I'm talking to you again, my baby's kicking." I said, "Maybe your baby like me." I said, "What is a boy or girl?" And she said, "It's a girl." And I said, "What are you naming her?" And she said, "Amy." And I dropped my head, and I was trying to fight tears. I was really trying not to cry at work in front of this lady. And she said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "My mom's name was Amy. She died 5 years ago to breast cancer." And she said, "What?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "She spelled it Amie." And she said, "That's the way we're spelling her name." I said, "Are you playing with me right now?" And she said, "We're naming the baby Amy." I literally had to go to the bathroom and just bawling. Like, she said, "I'm going to speak with my husband." She said, "But do you have any god kids?" And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Would you like one?" And I was like, "Yeah." All right, I'm done. I'm about to get off because I'm about to cry again. I hope everybody is having a blessed day. Love, peace. I love y'all. Like I love y'all. Y'all be safe. And yeah, deuces. So I just posted a video and I got people texting me. They asking about, my mother. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't mind talking about my mom because she's worthy of being talked about. But my mom died from breast cancer about 5 years ago. Thing was, I had no clue. She asked the family not to tell me, and no one told me. But hindsight now, thinking it's like I knew something was wrong, but cancer, it just wasn't on my mind. Like, I see my mom lost some weight. I she told me that she had to go to the doctor. At times, I feel like she was like trying to feel me out to see if she could tell me or not, but she didn't. And I remember I was home. I lived about an hour and 30 minutes from my mom, and I remember my aunt called me, and she said, "Hey, AJ." And I was like, "Hey, Auntie." And she was like, "Hey, you need to come see your mom." And I was like, "Okay." And it was weird because I'm grown, and it's like me and my mom had a good relationship. If I didn't see her, we talked. She asked about the twins and stuff like that. So immediately my antennas went up. It was like, why is someone calling me to tell me to come see my mom? But anyway, I got up, I got in the car, and it was a long ride. I was just thinking, and when I finally put up to my mom's house, I remember seeing all these cars there, and I just didn't get it. It was like, this looked like a barbecue or something. But I remember going in the house, and all my family was there, and they had a hospital bed, and I remember seeing my mom there. She was laying in there. She had her head turned, you know, facing away from the door. And when I walked in, my aunt said, "There go AJ." And I remember my mom turned and she looked at me. And the only thing I can describe it as, like, she looked at me like the twins do when I come pick them up from school or something. Like she looked so happy to see me. And I remember just busting out crying. And I kept saying, "What's going on?" And everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And my aunt took me outside, and I said, "Okay, somebody needs to talk to me." I said, "I feel like people keeping something from me." I said, "Aunt Ro, please tell me what's going on." And I tell you, man, the things you remember, like I could tell you what my aunt teeth looked like because I was looking dead in her mouth when she said, "Your mom has breast cancer. It's terminal. It's spread. It's nothing we can do except keep her comfortable." And I remember, like, even now, it's like, how did this get this bad and I didn't know? Like, being her son, like, the first thing you want to do is fix it. I think that hurt me more to know she was dying and than her actually dying. Like, I think it hurt me more. Like, I tell people, it's a pain that I didn't know existed. I didn't know a human being could hurt this bad. I didn't understand. And I still have to live? That was literally the worst day of my life. Yeah, that was it. That was the worst day of my life. So now I guess I just try to live a life that honors my mom. Like, so I preach love. So I preach it so hard because that day I knew what true love was. I knew what true love was. And I wouldn't wish, I wouldn't wish it on nobody. So yeah, that's it. That's what happened. We good. But my mom was an unbelievable woman. She loved me to the end. Like, even on her deathbed, she was still being a mom and trying to protect my feelings and my emotions. And I love her and I miss her dearly. But I know she good. I know she's in a better place. And I wouldn't dare pray her back. I could never ever pray for her to if I had a chance to go to heaven, which she believed in, don't pray for me to stay on this earth. But yeah, that's me and my mother, and I'm good though. I'm good, y'all. I promise y'all, I'm good. I actually like talking about my mom now, so yeah. See y'all later. All right, we gotta talk. You know, when I told that story, for some reason, I thought I was talking to my 6,000 followers, 6,400. I didn't know it would go 1.3 million views, and now I'm pushing about 30,000 followers. First, I want to say thank y'all. The positive, like the energy I felt reading y'all comments, it was just amazing. I've literally tried to make this video at least 5 times, and I just couldn't get through them. But I'm good now. Wow. Like, this is why I believe in humanity. Like, if we all collectively can raise our consciousness, we can have heaven right here on earth. And this is the beauty of TikTok, that you can genuinely be yourself. You don't have to steal anyone's identity or persona. Just be you. I like being me. And for people to accept me, and I ain't perfect. If you just now following me, I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm on a spiritual journey the last 8 to 10 months. I've really been taking it serious, and I've held myself accountable. I ask for forgiveness from those that I've hurt, and I'm just trying to make a better example, and for my sons, and for people that come into my circle. I believe in us. I love us. And I'll be answering some of you guys' videos. Let me go back, cut. I'll be answering some of y'all questions with videos because I love them. Especially questions about my mom and stuff. I will be answering questions, so y'all be keeping me busy for a while. All right, I'm getting off because I feel it. This has been an unexpected week. Like, I wasn't expecting this, but it's all good. Once again, thank y'all so much, and let's keep it going.
Sometimes the universe speaks in whispers, and sometimes it kicks. Through grief, memory, and healing, one man shares a story of divine connection that proves love never really dies. If you've ever lost someone you love, this one's for you. Make sure to like, comment, and share, because somebody out there needs this reminder too. I will see you in the next one.